in August 3rd. Caltrans says that will be the Taft Highway Pumpkin Center rehab project. You can also expect some overnight closures of the Highway 99 on and off ramps at Taft Highway from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. Sundays through Fridays. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom. News every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Please.
Flores, time this up. Thank you very much.
I had 3 more seconds and I had the whole thing. I was supposed to have 3 minutes.
Sir, thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
It's the JR Show. From Studio 99 at the American General Media Complex, here is your host, JR.
There we go, Daisy. Not quite. You don't get JR today. He's still on vacation. Might be out in San Diego. Might be back in town. Not sure exactly what his plans were. You get me, the usual producer of the JR Show, the Ralph Bailey Show, Maxwell in the Morning, all of the shows here on Current Radio, really. I'm Chris Burdick. Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, I guess. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You are listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. We are also live on YouTube as well if you would like to watch a video version of this. Once again, I am Chris Burdick. I am your guest host today, usually the producer. You don't hear much from me, nor do you see my beautiful face. But today, you get nothing but me. Haha. If you don't know who I am, born and raised right here in Bakersfield, California, 33 years old. I did go to CSUB and get a bachelor's in journalism. I've been here at Current Radio now for, 6 years, I believe, behind a mic. 8 years with the company of American General Media as I started in the promotions department and worked my way over here. Started with the Jazz McKay Show as his producer, was then moved over to the Ralph Bailey Show during COVID, and I've bounced around since then, have been here, like I said, consistently since then. So if you have listened to any of our radio shows, you've most likely heard my voice once or twice. But I am not a political person. So when JR asked me to host today, I was more than willing to, because if you know, I also hosted a radio show not too long ago on our sister station of KGEO, once ESPN Bakersfield, now known as The Bounce on 101.1 FM. Go check them out. It's a fantastic radio station of old hip hop hits. And I'm a sports guy. So unfortunately, if you're looking for politics today, that's not what you're going to get. I'm not going to talk about the orange man, nor am I going to talk about the slick back hair idiot that runs this state. I am going to keep it fun. We're going to keep it light, and we're going to talk a little sports. We're going to talk a little entertainment. I have a couple friends coming in. My cousin, Sean Clark, will be coming in from Sequoia Pest Solutions. He'll talk about some of the summer deals that they have going on over there at Sequoia. And full disclosure, one of the other guests is also my cousin, Richard Hall, who owns and operates Vital Body and Wellness over here on Truxton. They're going to talk about some deals that they have going on as well, and how you, if you are somebody who works out or you take your health seriously, they have a lot of different solutions, I guess, for rehabilitation. You know, if you're into the red light therapy, if you're into, just Pilates, stuff like that, it's a great location for you to go check out. At 2:30, we're going to have KGET entertainment reporter Rick Bentley join us. We're going to talk about the Odyssey. We're going to talk about Marvel, as the Avengers trailer came out this week. I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm a big nerd for Disney, so we'll get into that. And of course, if you did read on YouTube, I do have an interview that we're going to play here momentarily. I am a wrestling fan, full disclosure, okay? I really am. And if you don't like professional wrestling, I apologize. But the first 15, 20 minutes of this show is going to be talking about professional wrestling, because I was able to get an interview today with Austin Theory, WWE Superstar. So we are going to play that in audio form for you here in a couple minutes. I'm going to take a break here in a sec, and we're going to get into that. But I thought it's fun. WWE's in town this weekend at Dignity Health Arena, July 26th. Go get your tickets now if you are interested. If your kids are interested, they are pretty cheap at the moment. Go get them. And then if you are in the LA area, they have Raw coming to the Inuit Dome the next day. So that is a lot of fun as well. We'll talk, or I'm sorry, you will hear that interview as I did that pre-recording earlier this morning, right after the break. But we will talk a little sports. We'll talk a little entertainment. It'll be a little lighthearted. Obviously, I am not where I usually am during these shows. I am usually behind the glass. But today, we are being driven by Miss Daisy. Daisy, hello. Good day. No, you're not going to be. No. You talk. You talk. You're not getting away with it. You're
Hi.
doing this for me. Hello. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
You doing okay over there? You freaking out a
Surviving.
little bit? Okay.
A little bit.
How was last week? She filled in for me on Tuesday and Wednesday, right? On all of our shows.
Yes, I did.
Ralph was nice, right?
Ralph was nice. All the viewers were nice.
Okay, good. I mean, you better be treating Daisy nice. She's a very, very lovely lady, and she is helping us out today, and I appreciate you in all ways, shape, and form. Thank you so much for being here and being able to run the board. But again, we'll get into some sports. We'll get into some local stuff as well, as I did see some stories off KGET and Turn to 23 that I pulled just for fun, if we can get into it. We have a lot of guests we'll get into. We will take our first break here right now, Daisy, so we can get into that interview, and then I'll get into some stories on the other side. I do want to get into these ESPN layoffs. I know a lot of you aren't huge sports fans, but this does kind of connect to everything Disney owns. And there are some people that are getting a lot of flack for these layoffs that really shouldn't be, in my opinion. So I'm going to get into that at some point. And we'll get into, let's see, I pulled that the city of Bakersfield has decided that the Kern River water will not flow at the end of the month. It ends right then and there. So we'll get into that as well, and some local stuff too. So Daisy, let's take that break real quick. You are listening to the JR Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. If you want to text or call in, feel free to 661-842-5376. That's 842-KERN. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Maxwell in the morning. Good till the last mic drop.
A educational conversation between J.D. Vance and Bill Maher. This is the opportunity. This is the door that's been opened. You got 13 members now of the Democrat Party that's saying, hey, we like capitalism. And this is the opportunity for other Democrats that agree with Bill Maher that let's take our party back and let's get off this road to socialism.
Weekdays 9 to noon, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Hey, it's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru. It's probably time to go on that summer trip, and what better way to travel than in a brand new Subaru? Now, if you want something sporty yet comfortable, then the choice is clear, an Outback. Plenty of room for the entire family, plus Outback gets 32 miles per gallon on the highway. And now, through July 31st, lease a 2026 Outback Premium CVT for $229 a month for 36 months and $5,017 due at signing. Every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. Offer ends July 31st. So stop by, see my good friends Damon Kovas and Hassan Levy, and test drive a brand new Outback. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
$229 per month plus tax for 36 months. Total of lease payments, $8,869. $5,017 total due at lease signing. Includes first month payment, excludes tax, title, license, and $85 document fee. Total lease cost $13,886, excluding tax and license. TSRP $37,287. No security deposit. Lease based on 7,500 miles per year, 15 cents per mile over. Available to qualified customers through Subaru Motor Finance on approved credit. Expires July 31st, 2026. Excludes optional equipment and dealer installed accessories. VIN number TY514370.
Looking to refresh your home or business with a clean, professional new look? Trust the experienced team at Howling Painting. Family owned and operated in Kern County since 1978, Howling Painting has built a reputation for quality workmanship, dependable service, and attention to detail. From residential to commercial projects, interior or exterior painting, their team is committed to delivering beautiful results at competitive prices. Named Best of Bakersfield's best painting company in both 2025 and 2026, Howling Painting takes pride in making sure every customer is completely satisfied before the job is done. And with a fully licensed and insured team, you can feel confident knowing your property is in trusted hands. Call Howling Painting today at 872-0988, at 872-0988, or visit howlingpainting.com to schedule your free, no obligation consultation. Howling Painting, quality you can see, service you can trust.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox program, heard right here on KERN 6 to 9 every morning. You're listening to the JR Show. Join me tomorrow morning, 6 to 9, right here on KERN.
Well, welcome back to the JR Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Again, if you want to text or call in, 661-842-5376 is the number to call or text. I am Chris Burdick, usual producer of the JR Show, but obviously JR is on vacation, a well-deserved vacation. I'm not sure if he's back from San Diego or not. He might be, but at some point we will talk to I'm sorry, we're having some technical difficulties and I'm trying to help Daisy at the same time. But we are hopefully going to be playing here momentarily our interview with WWE Superstar Austin Theory. Once again, if you are a fan or if your family member or maybe your kids want to go check this out, tickets are still available at AXS.com. They will be here in town in Bakersfield, July 26th, this Sunday. And I was able to get an interview with one of their superstars. Daisy, are we ready to go with that? Can we play it? There's our interview with Austin Theory.
He is somebody that was handpicked not only by the genius himself, Paul Heyman, to join the Vision, but he has beaten the greatest of all time at WrestleMania. He is the youngest U.S. champion in the WWE's history. So without further ado, the pressure himself, Austin Theory. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Dude, I'm just blown away. What an introduction. Half of the time, these nerds that bring me on these things, they're just so nervous. And then they just say, here's Austin Theory. And I'm like, how disrespectful.
Well,
so thank you. Thank you.
No, the early bird special will never disrespect you or any WWE superstar. The WWE has been incredibly gracious with your guys' time, especially if you're here in the California area. Because again, if you're in Bakersfield, they have a house show this Sunday, July 26th at the Dignity Health Arena. Go get your tickets right now at AXS. And then the next day, if you're still in the area, LA, Inuit Dome for Raw live. There's no better place. That's obviously where it all got started on the Netflix era, right there at the Inuit Dome. So go check out Austin Theory and the Vision. But before we get to all that, Austin, we like to get a little bit of a background on you guys for people who don't watch wrestling or at least are kind of loose on the game. I know all about your story, but I want to get the background on your story. You've wanted to be a WWE wrestler since you were a child, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Do you remember the moment that thought was born, that dream really became a reality for you?
Yeah, man, it's a crazy story, but like you said, I was a child. I was 8 years old the first time I saw WWE, and I remember I was 12, and I walked into my mom's room, and I remember there was like a workout video on YouTube of like Triple H and Batista training like crazy in the gym, and just looked huge, you know. And I was like, wow, I'm a skinny ass kid, and I'm 12. But my mom goes to the gym all the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ask my mom if I could, join the gym. So I walk into her room, and the first thing I say, I don't say, hey, can I join the gym? I go, hey, Mom, I need to get started on my career. And then she's like, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, I want to be a wrestler. Like, I need to go to the gym. And then she's like, all right. So she starts taking me to the gym. And then from 12 all the way to, let's say, 17, I was in the gym every day, just working on this dream of, getting to WWE as fast as I could. I met someone at the gym that was like a pro bodybuilder. He told me he had connections to WWE, and basically they offered him a tryout after he won a show. So he was like, do you want the info? And I was like, nope, I don't think it works like that. But I think if I do a show and I win it, they'll notice me and I'll get a tryout. So I busted my ass doing a show. I won Mr. Teenage Georgia at 17. I got the trophy and everything, and everybody's proud. But I'm looking around and I'm like, where's the guy from WWE? Like, I'm trying to get a tryout. Like, okay, nothing. So then the next move was going to a wrestling school in Atlanta. I was 18. My coach was AR Fox. I listened to him. He told me to, get ready for the grind. You're going to do shows for no money. You're going to sleep on the floor. It's going to be a hustle, but you got to learn how to, sell photos, sell T-shirts, merch. That's how you make money on the indies. And I just did the grind, man. And then eventually got noticed by WWE. in 2018, had a tryout, got signed in 2019, and then the rest is pretty much history, man.
Absolutely. Becoming the youngest U.S. champion in WWE history. You've been a part of multiple stables as far back as The Way with guys like Johnny Gargano, Indy Hartwell, and Candice LeRae obviously being part of that. But the vision is completely different now. You guys are running the WWE in a way that I don't think another faction has been able to do. And you've been doing this all with your key members getting injured left and right, thanks to a certain someone who wanted to fake an injury. Had nothing to do with you guys, but hey, unfortunately, there's now a curse over it that had nothing to do with Danhausen too, but we won't talk about that yet.
Yeah, please don't.
But I brought it up when we brought you in. You were handpicked by arguably the greatest wrestling mind, in my opinion, Paul Heyman, to be a part of this group. One, what was that like with him approaching you and saying you need to be a part of this? But two, has Paul given you any wisdom behind the scenes or otherwise that has helped you in your career so far?
Yes, so me and Paul Heyman actually go way back. My whole time on the main roster, I've always spoke to him. He's always given me great advice. He's always had my back. He's always, taken me under his wing. The first time I met Paul Heyman was actually when I was on the Indies. It was the first time Evolve and the WWE did a show together in the ECW arena. And Gabe Sapolsky, that's my guy. And he pretty much told me, like, hey, you're the main event, tonight. And I got a surprise for you. And I was like, all right, I know what that is. And then Paul Heyman walks in. And the first time I met Paul Heyman, I went up to him and I said, hey, how you doing, sir? I'm Austin. And the first thing he said was, I'm a big fan of your work. And I was like, holy. So that was cool. And then he comes up to me a little later, like in the night as the show's going on. And he goes, hey, if I'm going to introduce you tonight, what are things that I call you? And I was like, wait, what? So he ended up like doing the introduction for the match, and kind of the rest there is history. And, I got to WWE, and even the pandemic era of Raw, when I kind of left NXT and went to Raw to kind of do Seth's group, that was kind of all Paul Heyman as well. But I'd have to say, man, like he's always had my back, and even the Vision group, like he wanted me in that, and I was like, absolutely. And I'd say when it comes to advice, there's a lot of advice, but one of my favorite things he said to me when I first got with the group was, "Don't F this up," and that was, all right, you got it.
Short, simple, and to the point. That's all you got to do. Don't be the one to mess it up. Ray
That's
Lewis
it,
did
man.
it himself, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now with Maxine joining the group, what is the new ceiling for the Vision? Where are we going with this, man? I know you can't give specifics, but you guys are going to reach things with her that you've never been able to reach before.
Dude, there's no ceiling. There's no plan per se of what we view as like where we're trying to get. I just think when it comes to me and Maxine together, Maximum Pressure, and then you have, the superstar himself, Logan Paul, and then you got the dog, Braun Breaker, and then our brother is about to be back, Bronson Reed, tsunamiing everybody. They think Oba's a force to be reckoned with. Wait till you see Bronson Reed back. I mean, he's just jacked. So put us all together. We just know we're taking over this whole thing. When we first got with Paul Heyman, we were like, we were all chosen for this, but like, what is the Vision, Paul? And he said, this is the first time in history that there are 4 WrestleMania main eventers. So first time ever. Everyone is the guy. There's not this guy's the guy, that guy's the guy. And, you see stuff online where they're like, oh, like Austin Theory is like being a bodyguard, or Logan Paul's being a bodyguard, or Braun Breaker's being a bodyguard. We're all bodyguards for each other because we all want success. Braun was going after the world title. We were all in. We do whatever we had to do. I don't care if Seth was catching us with chairs or whatever was happening. I'm putting my body on the line for my brother. And when it's Logan Paul's time, I'm there. My time, here we go. I know they got my back. So it doesn't matter which way we do it. It's never your turn and then my turn. It's just, hey, this is what we're doing right now. This is how we're going to roll. And I got my, my Maxine next to me now. So kind of have anything I want.
Absolutely. And I was just telling my co-host too, you guys have the possibility here to be the most in shape and just physically dominant faction of all time. Each one of you, Logan has had an incredible body transformation the last couple of years. Bronson, I've been following very, very close to his Instagram and all of this stuff he's been posting since his injury. You guys are going to be very formidable when everybody's healthy and going again. But one thing I have to ask, because you did bring up now you have your maximum pressure. I love that. I brought this up with Chelsea Green when she was on the show as well. I think we need to have another tag team tournament here, a mixed tag team tournament where all of you guys who are in couples go up against each other here. Your thoughts on this?
I mean, I think that's great. I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's any kind of tournament or real competition for maximum pressure. It's just not, you know what I mean? Like the things that I've been teaching Maxine, you know, is like nothing you've ever seen her do in the ring before. It's just a different mindset, you know, like her going down and getting gritty with Natty and all that. Like they work hard down there, but you know, there's a different type of viciousness with the Vision that can't be taught by anybody else except us. And it's what we know and how we feel. And with this youth movement that we all have in this group, we're going to take everything. And when you look at the WWE, like this is what should really be representing it. Hot, young, studs, and a beautiful woman. We're going to take it over. It's that simple.
Absolutely. Look, man, there's a reason Natty's on NXT and you guys are on their main roster right now. There's just different levels to this stuff. She's doing great for those girls down in NXT. She's doing her thing, but the Vision deserves to be up at the top. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
So I know you're short on time. We got one segment I got to get to before we get you out of here. Our guy, 24 kg, he's got a segment on this show, 4x4 with 24 kg. Of course, he cannot be with us today, unfortunately. He is away. But he gave me 4 questions to give to you, and these are just rapid-fire questions real quick. Just get your answer out, and we'll get it out of the way. All right, you ready?
Do it. I think I can't be more ready.
All right. 3-way tag match. Who's making it out the winner? The Way, A-Town Down Under, or The Vision, you and Logan Paul?
Me and Logan, dog, all day.
All day. Okay, we'll take that one. You are one of the best sellers in the WWE, hands down, bar none. What is the hardest move for you to sell?
None.
Not a single?
None. But if you can hit me with it, because nowadays, you know, your boy's a little hard to catch. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very true on that one.
I'd say if I could go back just real quick, I know it's rapid fire, but, you know, I'd say a low blow. You know, I haven't had to be hitting with one of those, but they work. Don't just ask Maxine. You could ask me. You could ask John Cena, you know, at WrestleMania. He knows about it.
It works every time. Works every single time. Who's your go-to workout partner when you're on the road?
Oh, man, I'd say right now, well, Dom Mysterio is my guy. You know, I got to say. Me and Breaker, though, recently have been getting workouts. And my dog likes to eat. I like to eat. We like to train. We train. We go to the ring. We slam people around. And then we wake up the next day and do it all over again.
Who's your favorite? Like, who pushes you the hardest in the gym?
Pushes me. Dom Mysterio.
Does he
Dom
really?
Mysterio.
Okay.
He is like David Goggins. People don't know that about him. He'll tell me to put another plate on. He'll push me to failure. And I'm just trying to keep up with Dom Mysterio in the gym. You know, he's 30 Dom, you know.
Well, he's the AAA Mega Champion for a reason. He's held that belt for a long, long time. So we'll see what happens.
That's right.
What is your dream match that is still unachieved for you?
Easy. Me and Roman Reigns.
Oh, we need to run that back, man.
Yes, we do.
That viral video is ridiculous. I heard
man.
Logan's podcast too. I knew watching you, was like, he has something to say, but you can't take that shot. You got to do what's good for business. And honestly, your trajectory for your career, it's all just going to come full circle, and you'll be the one to rip that belt off of him.
Yeah, that moment actually shows me how dumb the audience is, because when he said it and they said what they said, I was like, wow, what a bunch of idiots. You don't remember the years of him shoved down your throats by a certain somebody? But okay, hey.
100%.
All right.
100%.
Just a theory, dude.
Just a theory. But the final question for you, my friend, then we will let you go. You on your social media are very well known for being a motivational speaker. I love watching your videos. So is there any motivational message that you can leave to our listeners and viewers right now?
Yeah, something I would love to say is if there's anything that's like on your mind, it's bothering you, or you're worried about it, or you're just afraid to go after it, you just got to do it. You got to take the action. Because if you don't take action, you just sit there with it on your mind. You doubt yourself. You get deeper in that hole of negativity. So you got to pick yourself up, and you just got to try. Even if you don't know how to start, just start. Just try it. But don't let it sit there and linger, because that is exactly how it snowballs. it gets bigger, it gets harder. You just got to go for it. I mean, that's what I do, and I make it happen all day.
Made a
Let the
whole
pressure.
WWE career on it, brother. Made a
That's
whole
right.
WWE career on it from age 8 till now. And my friend, I cannot thank you enough for your time. One more time, again, if you're in Bakersfield.
And that was WWE Superstar Austin Theory. I want to thank the WWE for being so gracious with your time. Again, I do host a sports and entertainment program, podcast, whatever you want to call it, on YouTube. That's where you can find the video of that as well. That'll be up later today, if not tomorrow. We talk to a lot of wrestlers, a lot of different people, a lot of athletes. So go check us out. And after the break, we'll be coming back with my little cousin here. If you are watching on YouTube, Richard Hall will be joining us from Vital Body
In Washington,
Wellness.
it just got a little more expensive to buy a home. Freddie Mac, the mortgage lender, says rates on the 30-year fixed up to 6.58% this week. That is the third consecutive weekly increase and the highest that those rates have been in about a year. The U.S. military continuing to pummel Iran. There were more strikes overnight. Meanwhile, the president says he is not relenting and they must open up the Strait of Hormuz and also agree never to develop a nuclear weapon. The next major government-wide funding standoff will be September 30th. That will mark the end of the fiscal year. And responding to a question from reporters today at the White House, spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt told reporters she expects the Democrats to try and threaten another government shutdown. Congress needs to pass a total of 12 annual appropriations bill over the next 2 months to avoid that scenario. On Wall Street at the close, the Dow was down 506 points. This is SRN News.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on.
Headlines from the KERN Newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. The sexual abuse and coercion of an underage girl has earned 35-year-old Pablo Perez 3 consecutive life sentences in prison. In May, Perez was convicted of abusing the girl from 2021 through October of 22. When she reported the abuse, he would drive her into rural areas and then threaten to kidnap her if she told anybody. You may have already heard that foul play was not suspected, and now the Kern County Coroner's Office says Shamika Washington's death was an accident. Washington's body was found June 22nd in a canal on Truxton Avenue, and at that time, the police did not believe she had been killed by someone else. Now, a coroner's report confirms that. The 43-year-old's body was identified in early July. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease. Control is everything to me. Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, it looks like more bad news out of the Strait of Hormuz there. It looks like the Houthis are in play now, and that's going to put oil back over $100 a barrel. That's going to be great for everybody. God help you. We got news, we got traffic, we got weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. Later, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
And welcome back to the JR Show right here on Kern Radio, 96.1 FM, 1230 AM. And I am Chris Burdick, usual producer of the JR Show, but today guest host, as JR is on vacation. He will be back on Monday, if I'm not wrong. I actually don't know exactly when he'll be back. That's bad. I'm his producer. I should probably know when he returns to work. That's not a good thing. But today, I am taking the reins. I am hosting. That means I get to call in whoever the heck we get to talk to. And earlier, obviously, if you've been listening in the 1:15-hour segment, I should say, we talked to WWE Superstar Austin Theory as they are coming into town on Sunday. Go get your tickets at AXS.com. But if you are an athlete and you're looking for something a little bit different, you're looking for somewhere to go rejuvenate yourself, or if you're just looking for a gym, I have somebody right here that has everything you need right there in one center. That is the Vital Body Wellness Center. And that is Richard Hall, owner and operator. Good to see you, bub.
How you doing?
I'm well. I am well. Full disclosure, Richard is my little cousin. Very, very proud of him as he has been an entrepreneur since, God, how young? 16?
Yeah.
When you started your...
the Cutco,
yeah,
selling knives.
Absolutely. And then you moved into a...
car detailing.
And now you're doing this with your soon-to-be fiance, I hope, because if you don't lock that down, we're all going to be incredibly mad at you.
Yes.
But you guys now have the Vital Body Wellness Center. So what are you guys doing over there?
So it's basically a family business that we wanted to bring over 12 years of experience working with all kinds of own testimonies. And so essentially we're a wellness center where we have detoxification services, we have private training, we have private performer Pilates as well. And then we implement something a little different. It's energy appointments. So we have frequency treatments and looking at your emotions and what they do to the body and kind of just being whole in general and basically trying to be healthy from the inside out.
Right. So this is more than just a gym. This is somewhere where you can go to kind of change your outlook on things and really get into a healthy mindset. I know that's what Bella really stresses a lot during her classes, as my mom and sister go to them all the time. She does do Pilates and many, many other things in the physical department. But at this point, you guys have really grown yourselves into something that's different than just an in-shape membership, because you do memberships for these people, correct?
Definitely. Yeah. So we have infrared saunas and cold plunges as more of a recovery aspect to workouts as well. And then we have a hyperbaric oxygen chamber, which is something that kind of has a standout in general in town. You can come in and get hyperbaric oxygen, which is like 96% oxygen to your body, which is really good for recovery and just overall sleep too. Helps with your sleep and muscle recovery and stuff like that. So yeah.
So this is more for people who are just kind of light on the gym area. They just go when they feel like they need a workout. Is that also something for you?
Yeah, we have drop-ins as well, but also it's just a different aspect of detoxing the body as well. So definitely just applying all of our services is to basically take you in from your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight, to your parasympathetic rest and digest. And that's something that we're very big on, kind of regulating the nervous system. And all of our treatments and everything that we apply, all of our teachings and everything really helps with that in general.
Absolutely. And there are people that are doubters. I mean, I know that I've heard of the cold plunges, the red light, therapy, and a lot of people don't believe that these things actually work, but you guys obviously know what you're doing. So how do these things work?
Yeah, so a little about myself as well. I had Crohn's disease, epilepsy, and ulcerative colitis all by the age of 17. And when I met Bella's family, their brother actually suffered from cardiac arrest and died and came back and suffers a brain injury. And so everything that they've applied to him to improve his quality of life really helped him. And now he's more conscious and he's able to move and he's working on walking by himself and he can eat by himself. So the quality of life that he's gotten from all of our treatments in general is something you don't see. But what I applied to my life that they taught me was that when you detox the body, you have to be able to let go of your past. So the things that are traumatic to you, you need to let go of them to move on because they do hold you back in general. So with all of our services that we offer, it really just kind of simplifies what you need to work on. And so then you're able to move forward and become more whole.
And you guys documented all of your work with Daniel, correct? And it's all on Instagram. They really step-by-step showed you how they were able to help Daniel get to where he is today and continue to help with Daniel
every
his
day.
health. And it's incredible to watch, dude. It really is.
Yeah, no, it's a blessing, definitely. There's so much gratitude in my life that I get to see and like apply to everybody else as well.
Absolutely.
I love seeing Daniel get better, and it is a dream of mine and something that we all are working towards to get him to walk on his own again and really, really get his life back.
So we talked memberships a little bit. What are the ranges here? What can people get into?
Yeah, so probably our most famous ones are Vitals. So the Vital memberships, we have a Vital 3, a Vital 5, and a Vital 8. Those are 3 credits that you get to your account that you get to use, and each service that we offer is 1 credit. So you obviously just pay for 3, 5, or 8. And then we have bigger packages as well because we also have it family friendly. So you're able to use 1 membership for your family so they can come in and use some of the services all together. So you're not having to have multiple memberships in general.
Absolutely. So if you and the kids want to go down there and get different treatments, or really if one wants to go one day, one wants to go the other, you all share the same membership. It's simple, it's easy, and you all get it down. And this honestly is stuff that you want to get into because, again, talk about not only your own, but Bella's experience with physical therapy and how you guys are able to really take all of that and use that knowledge to help people here in Bakersfield.
Absolutely. We're trying to bring up the community.
Absolutely, man. And what can people expect when they go down there?
Honestly, everybody that comes in, they always feel the same. They feel lighter when they go out, but they also really feel relaxed. Kind of they come in and they have stressful lives in general. Everybody does. But when they come in and they take a moment for themselves, they leave calm. And that's what we want. We want people to be more present and more calm so they're able to rest. So that's kind of what I see mostly with everybody that comes in.
Absolutely. And before we let you go, Bub, I cannot let you walk away without introducing you, I should say, to the community. Talk about who Richard Hall is. Where have you come from? Where'd you go? And obviously, we've already talked about your battles with Crohn's and everything. But
so a little about me. I grew up in Tucson, Arizona, and I moved here because my mom's from here, obviously from the family. And so I played soccer my whole entire life. And then
was part of Garcis's
Garcis's reign.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we won Valley 3 times in state.
I'm telling you, Garcis was not a soccer school until Richard and his homies were there, man. With the Banks brothers and everything, we're both killing it still. I think
they're going or Fletcher's in the MLS.
I know he is.
And Palmer's going there too. He's going.
Is he going as well? Okay, fantastic. I remember talking to his dad not too long ago, and I believe he said that he was finishing his master's at the same time. So that's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I mean, you have taken your athletic ability and obviously everything that you have learned and created this, and I cannot commend you more for it, Bo.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
And before I let you go, World Cup obviously is just ended. We were both watching the final over the weekend. Your thoughts? I know you're a big Messi fan.
Yes, I am.
Obviously, we're not Argentinian, but he is a Messi fan, so Argentina was the hope there, I would assume.
Yeah, it's all right. The GOAT, he brings what he can, but he can't. He did bring the whole entire team to the finals, which is enough for me to see. Spain was definitely in their prime. They locked down a lot of things, especially in the midfield. It may not seem like it from the outside, but when you're on the pitch, I mean, there's something you don't even see. They're playing specific distribution and balls in general that you don't even see, and they really locked down Argentina.
Honestly, the defense was incredible. I'm not a huge soccer fan. I follow loosely. This is my extent of my soccer knowledge right here. This kid teaches me everything I need to know. But watching the defense of Spain throughout this tournament was incredible. They only let up 1 goal the entire tournament, which was unreal. I believe the goalie had 7 straight shutouts, if I'm not mistaken. It's just something I have never seen. It's a dominance that I think is going to carry over, which is unfortunate for everybody who wants to win a World Cup here in the next couple of years. But I just, from your perspective, we now had it in America. I have a story here I'm going to get into later that is about the betting and everything that's gone into this. They're saying that the amount of betting that happened on the World Cup as a whole is that of 10 times of what a Super Bowl makes. Did Americans embrace soccer for the first time in both of our lives? And do you think this is going to continue?
I think so. I think definitely, I had some of the clients actually went to the games in Texas, and they said that like an Uber is like $250 for a very small drive, and it's like $2,000 a night for the hotels. So I think that America definitely capitalized on a bunch of tourism coming in and everything. So I think they're going to continue to want more soccer to come back to America.
I agree. And I think that it really showed that each of these games was really a Super Bowl in itself, especially with the fans and just how it was created and put together. All of the stadiums were fantastic. I think we could have had the final in a better one. Still think it should have been at SoFi, but that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I have to agree. I think that soccer's in a good spot right now, especially after the World Cup. We'll see here in the next couple of years if Americans actually keep up, though.
Yeah, I think that they really embraced a lot of different cultures, like Norway. Like everybody was really big on Holland and just embracing their Viking status and everything. So that was really cool to see as well.
Absolutely. Well, Bub, I know you're busy. I'm
Yeah.
going to let you go and get you out of here. One more time, Vital Body Wellness Center. Where can everybody get involved with you guys? Any Instagram handles? What can you give out?
Yeah, you guys can look us up on Vital Body Wellness on Instagram. Our phone number is 661 area code 610-8995. And we're off Truxton Avenue right by the old Moo Creamery, the old one.
Absolutely. Right next door to the old Moo Creamery. Go check them out. There are memberships you can get into. Like we said, it could be a family membership or a solo one. They have everything you could possibly need. And if you're just looking for a new place to go work out, a new gym, I know for a fact, I believe you guys are doing free consulting now, right?
Yes,
I saw
you
that.
can come in and we'll give you a free consultation, show you around, and really make a specific package for you.
Absolutely. Bub, thank you so much
Thank
for
you so much.
joining me. Appreciate you. I will keep pumping up this. And honestly, I could not be any more proud of you, dude. You are
Thank you.
doing an incredible job, and tell Bella the same thing. I'll
Will
see you
do.
guys very soon.
Alrighty.
Daisy, let's take a break real quick. We will come back and get into some of these stories that I want to run down. Like I said, we want to get into the ESPN layoffs and everything that happened there. A lot of people were upset that a certain Ryan Clark was fired while on the air. We'll get into why he was let go and maybe play some audio for you as well if we can get that working. This is the JR Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. The Ralph Bailey Show, weekdays at 3 p.m.
So again, I want to thank Michael Bowers.
Complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox program, heard right here on KRN 6 to 9 every morning. You're listening to the JR Show. Join me tomorrow morning, 6 to 9, right here on KERN.
Welcome back. This is the JR Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. We are also streaming live on YouTube. Apologies to the YouTube listeners. I know our stream dropped out there for a moment, but we should be back, and hopefully it doesn't go down on us again. But I want to thank my cousin Richard Hall for jumping in here and joining us. Again, go out to Vital Body Wellness Center. They're right there next to the old Moo Creamery. It's a lot of really good stuff. Your red light therapies, Pilates, there's workout regimens. They will help you get into a healthy mindset, which I think everybody really needs right now in this world. Because when you have a healthy body, you have a healthy mind, and you can get out and you can get away, and you can get away from all the craziness that is the world today, because everybody needs some sort of escape. And trust me, the gym helps. That is the escape for a lot of people. But as I told you guys at the beginning of the show, I'm not a political person. I'm really not. I don't like to get into politics. I don't like to talk politics, which is ironic because obviously, for most of you who know, I work as a producer for a conservative radio show. And honestly, I just am one of those people that I believe that everybody needs to just start thinking right down the middle. We need to stop thinking right or left and all that type of stuff. So we're not going to get anything political today. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk a little sports. We're going to talk a little entertainment here in the 2 o'clock hour. I'm going to be talking to Sean Clark. He's going to give you guys some summer deals on pest control for you guys who are looking for that. He is owner-operator of Sequoia Pest Solutions. We'll talk to him momentarily. And then right after that, we'll talk a little entertainment. We'll get out of here on a good note. The Odyssey is out. Christopher Nolan's latest just dynamite movie. I can't wait to talk about it. We're going to talk to KGET entertainment reporter Rick Bentley at 2:30 because we didn't get our movie segment on the JR Show this week. We didn't. I mean, Mike Armendariz is at Comic-Con, lucky him. So he's obviously away. JR is on vacation. So I am calling in my guy. I'm calling in my entertainment reporter. I'm calling in Rick Bentley. We're going to talk not only the Odyssey, as Matt Damon, Tom Holland, and all of these incredible actors gave us one of the best movies of the summer, but we're going to talk about the movies to come in the summer as well, as Spider-Man is right around the corner, and we got an Avengers trailer not too long ago. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw right before the show, DC is going to retaliate with their own Lanterns trailer here pretty soon. So we'll get into all that, plus these Disney layoffs. It's, and that's really what I want to talk about in terms of sports as well. Because if you don't know, ESPN, their parent company, is Disney. Lo and behold, if you didn't know that, surprise, surprise, spoiler alert, all that type of stuff. Everybody is shocked that ESPN just yesterday released a long list of first wave layoffs of some of their talent. A lot of them more missed than others. Ryan Clark, former Pittsburgh Steelers safety, being one of them that's been talked about so much because he was literally told of his firing while on the air doing NFL Live. Unprecedented in TV. It really is. But when your time is up and the Reaper comes, it is what it is. The guillotine has come down and your career there was now done. So they pulled Ryan from the show and everybody's been talking about it ever since. Ryan Clark, Cam Newton, Carl Ravage, that one's shocking to me, but I'll give my explanation why I think they let go of Carl. It's not because of how he is behind a microphone. It's really the direction ESPN is going as a whole. But we're going to start with why this is happening. Everybody is so upset that Carl, Cam, Ryan Clark, a lot of these guys, Bart Scott was also let go. There's a lot of really good talking heads that are being let go. I have to highlight something that I don't think a lot of people really think about when it comes to ESPN and how their shows are today. I don't think there's ever been a time in ESPN's lifetime that they've had more former athletes on these shows than they do journalists or pundits or analysts or whatever you want to call these people. Your Stephen A. Smiths, your Adam Schefters, your Peter Schrager's. There's never been a time where ESPN has had more, in my opinion. And sometimes that can get overcrowded. That can get clustered up. And some of these guys that got let go, especially a la Cam Newton, were brought in to be a second to somebody of Stephen A. Smith's caliber. The ratings weren't there, so they're just going to sit there and say, Cam, we're going to let you go. It was something that we thought was going to work out. It's not that big of a deal. The Ryan Clark thing, I feel, was a different reason, though. Everybody is highlighting Ryan Clark, Ryan Clark, Ryan Clark. If you don't know who Ryan Clark is a former Pittsburgh Steelers safety. If I'm not mistaken, Super Bowl champion, and was one of ESPN's most prominent talking heads in terms of being a former athlete on these shows like the Get Up, NFL Live, and all of these really pro NFL talking shows. And he had his moments of having takes, in my opinion, controversial takes most of the time, but it is what it is. You want to get clicks, you want to get noticed and watched. That's usually how you do it these days. But Ryan had a really bad history of doing something specific. And I highlight this because it's all going to stem to what I believe ESPN is trying to do in this new format and why they let so many people go and who's being let go. Daisy, do you have the audio in front of you real quick, hon? Can you pull up for me? It's, I believe, Ryan Clark, Peter Schrager. We're going to start there. Before I play this, I have to set the table. This happened at the beginning of the last football season. They were discussing back and forth. I believe it was the Cowboys-Eagles game. You'll hear Peter Schrager. I think we'll hear Dan Orlovsky, if I'm not mistaken, in there as well as Teddy Bruschi and Ryan Clark. This, I think, is really the nail in the coffin that killed Ryan Clark's career with ESPN. Let's play this real quick.
Are you feeling, okay, you look at A.J. Brown, which is this number one wide receiver who got one target all night, and then you got CeeDee Lamb. But that's the when was the one target?
That's the target.
But
though.
I'm saying
when
was the one
I'm
target?
saying you could have it both ways.
54 seconds left in the game on 2nd and 11. It was the one target. He runs the out route.
You wake up this
the
morning
corners
saying
got
AJ
outside
Brown
leverage.
has had a better day than CeeDee Lamb.
But you know what you wake up saying though? AJ Brown's team is 1-0.
Of course,
Right? Like,
I mean,
like
yes,
that's what
I get it.
But the thing is this though, and we shouldn't do this on TV. And so I apologize if people think this is rude. That's the non-player.
Oh,
view.
stop! That's no. That CeeDee Lamb is.
Let me tell you why. I'm not saying
I'm not looking at fantasy football, Ryan. I'm not. Don't belittle me like that. I could come in and say, as 3 ex-players are saying one thing, and give an alternative perspective that maybe CeeDee Lamb did play well. And
Peter, what I need for you to do is not get mad and let me finish for one.
Okay, go on.
It wasn't about you. It was going to be about me.
Okay.
It indeed was not about him. I'll save you the having to listen to this man afterwards. But I highlight that audio to say this, because I brought this up when he initially was fired on Tuesday, when I believe Rand Dizzle from up the hall walked up to me and said they just fired him on the air. Shocking that they fired him on the air. I'm not going to lie. That usually doesn't happen. But the reasoning behind the firing does. ESPN is at a point, like I said, where all of these former athletes are coming in and they make a lot of money by themselves because they have great agents. They know how to build themselves up, and they have an experience that people like myself, Peter Schrager, cannot say we have. Never played a down of football in my life in terms of NFL football. So no, Peter Schrager cannot tell you from an experience standpoint how to break down a quarterback from a safety position and move from a cover 2 to a cover 3. And I know I'm speaking in gibberish right now if you don't follow sports. But the point I'm trying to make here is, and this is all tying into why I believe they let Carl Ravage go as well. Ryan Clark was let go because they're reaching a point where they cannot have their former athletes and their journalists fighting each other on air of who has more experience and whose take should mean more. Ryan Clark had a history of doing this and let him go. So that's what got him let go. Carl Ravage got let go after 33 years of brilliant baseball analytics for ESPN because ESPN is deciding to go in a different direction in terms of baseball. Baseball is now done on ESPN as of the end of the 2025 season. Their contract has ended, and I do not believe we're going to see baseball anymore, which is why you're seeing Carl Ravage moved. It's all a complete move in a different direction for ESPN, who has also just bought NFL TV as well. So for people who are online upset saying, I can't believe they're letting these people go, there are reasons for it. I will let you know what the opposite or the further point and the further reasons for it here as soon as we can after we talk to our next guest of Sean Clark of Sequoia Pest Solutions. But ESPN is in the midst of a huge shakeup right now, and it's all because ESPN's parent company, Disney, is doing a massive amount of layoffs, which includes Pixar as well, believe it or not. So for everybody freaking out saying ESPN's going to be dead, ESPN's killing themselves, just hit the brakes for a sec. I'll explain exactly why, how this all connects to Pat McAfee's contract negotiations as well. And
Current Radio, AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, K241CI, Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
Keith Peters in Washington. There are new statistics on crime.
The U.S. is on track to have a historically low number of homicides in 2026. A report from the Council on Criminal Justice shows an 18% decrease in the homicide rate across 30 American cities from 2025 compared to the same period in 2026. This trend could lead to the lowest annual homicide rate in over a century. The report released tracked 13 crimes and found drops in 9 categories, including carjackings and residential burglaries. Sexual assaults, drug offenses, shoplifting, and domestic violence incidents saw slight increases. Experts say these changes exceed expectations and improve on pre-pandemic crime rates. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Republicans in Congress continue to back the Iran war despite the political risk. More details from reporter Bernie Bennett.
The potential political peril has only grown in recent days, particularly for Republicans facing re-election in November. But while some GOP lawmakers say they want more information from President Donald Trump's administration on the end game and the escalating costs, they continue to defend the president's decision to engage and have voted repeatedly to cede congressional powers to the White House. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy, a Republican who grilled military leaders for more detail at a contentious hearing Tuesday, said, quote, "Is anyone out there in the real world happy with gas prices? No, but I think they understand why gas prices are as high as they are." Bernie Bennett in Washington.
President Trump appeared to add a condition to the newly signed agreement with Saudi Arabia for a civilian nuclear program, saying the deal would require the kingdom to normalize its relations with Israel through the Abraham Accords. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 506 points, the Nasdaq dropped 553, the S&P lower by 90. More at townhall.com.
If you're watching the market, you may know that gold has pulled back more than 20% from its recent highs. Silver has fallen even further. History shows that this could be the perfect time to diversify your retirement portfolio to include precious metals like gold and silver. In crisis after crisis over the last 50 years, gold fell first, then surged to new highs as the crisis unfolded. That's why Advantage Gold wants to send you a free gold investment guide valued at $49, plus a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's best-selling book, Our Dollar, Your Problem, when you call 800-900-8000. In today's market, government debt has exploded to nearly $40 trillion, and central banks around the world continue buying gold at record levels. The smart money sees opportunity. If you're considering diversifying a retirement account with precious metals, tax and penalty-free, now is the best time to call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
There is a new poll that has been released.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
Copper may be the key. I'm Chris Davis. The golden mussel invasion in California and Kern County is expanding as the invasive barnacle-like species clogs pipes by clinging to the insides and growing. But CPRO Scientific is working with the Arvin Edison Water Storage District on a new copper-based treatment that would be put into water systems to control the spread, reports ABC 23. And one of the scientists says he believes it shows promise as an effective way to slow the organisms down. If you saw a guy in a black t-shirt and black shorts, and that was on Rosedale Highway, and that was on June 16th, it may have been the guy that Bakersfield police are looking for, who they say tried to steal an AC unit from a business there. Police are calling it an attempt and did not say the guy was successful. Cops are asking for info from anyone who might have it. It's being called the South Fire, even though it's burning north of Bakersfield in the mountains. And Wednesday afternoon, that fire caused some people who live in that area to have to be evacuated. The fire was on South Granite Road, according to Kern Fire. They say as of Wednesday evening, it had burned about 70 acres, and at that point, structures were in danger. No one has been reported hurt in the fire. You are encouraged to have the Genesis, and that's spelled with a Y, app to find out about any evacuation notices. If you've been following the story of the dog attack that happened at Central Park in Cal City back on June 18th, where the 12-year-old boy who jumped in a pond to get away from the vicious dogs died, the Kern County Coroner's Office now confirms that the boy died from drowning and the manner of death was accidental. You're just now hearing that because the findings from the coroner's report have been made public. 68-year-old Kenneth Dobbins is under arrest in that incident. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Mr. Flores, time this up. Thank you very much.
I had 3 more seconds and I had the whole thing. I was supposed to have 3 minutes.
Sir, thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
It's the JR Show from Studio 99 at the American General Media Complex. Here is your host, JR.
Well, not quite. Once again, JR still on vacation. So I am producer Chris Burdick as I sit in as guest host today. I want to thank JR for the opportunity. Once again, if you have no idea who I am outside of the radio, I also host the Early Bird Special, formerly of our KGEO Sports Talk right here across the way. We are still on YouTube on Tuesdays and Saturdays. I apologize. Where you can catch us all over the place, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, all over social media, all that hoopla. Earlier in the 1 o'clock hour, we talked with WWE Superstar Austin Theory as they have their show coming up this weekend, Sunday. Get your tickets at AXS.com. And of course, Richard Hall of Vital Body Wellness Center. Go down there, check them out. They're right next door to where Moo Creamer used to be. And they can help you out on all of your recovery and fitness goals, get you in the right healthy mindset to finish out the year and start out 2027 in a good healthy mind, I should say. But if you have any pest situations going on at your house, ants, roaches, termites?
We do not do termites.
No termites. No termites.
out.
All right. Pests only, all of that type of stuff. I have another person here who can help you out in Sequoia Pest Solutions, one of my other cousins as well. Sean Clark, good to see you, my cousin.
Well, good to see you, Chris. And sorry, JR. Chris is filling out the airways with his family, and
well, just one or two.
And not geopolitics.
Look, he tries to stay away from it too, though. In his right, he stays down the middle, and he'll talk more local stuff than he will anything else. But he gave me the reins, and I said, "Can I call people?" He said, "Absolutely." So I said, "All right, cool. I'm going to call the people I know," and this is exactly how I was going to give back to the family a little bit, and just help you guys out. Never know. Never know.
I appreciate that, Chris. Appreciate
Absolutely. Let's get into Sequoia Pest Solutions. You have a long history in pest control as a whole. I mean, how long has it been now?
Well, I am a third-generation pest control operator. I've been in the industry for about 20 years, right out of college, and even during the college years. My grandfather and your guest host's great-grandfather
This is true.
started Clark Pest Control back in the 40s. And over the next 80 years, the Clark family built out that brand. And about, coming up on, a little over 6 years ago, our family made the decision to sell that. And when I say our family, I really mean the prior generation of our family, my dad and uncles. And they sold the brand off to Rollins, which is a parent company of Orkin. And after about 6 months, I made the decision to bet on myself and step out on my own and started Sequoia Pest Solutions in the September of 2020, I think. And right in the middle of COVID, which was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And had a lot of fun doing it. 6 years in so far. After 1 year, brought in another one of my cousin, Ricky Hall, who was just here. His father is my cousin and business partner. And
you guys have grown so much in the last couple of years. I don't think people understand how difficult it is to really not only just start a business, but start a business like pest control, where there's 18 different competitors all trying to get these people at the same time, not to mention the 4 major heads and all that. I mean, you guys have grown tremendously in this time.
Yeah, we've done pretty well. I started off with one customer, from zero in the truck. And so far, we're a team of 5. We have 3 wonderful employees, and then Richie and I. And there's a lot of competition in this town. There's a lot of local mom and pop competition. And, we get along pretty well with all of them. I chair our trade association, so I try to make good relations with anyone I can in the industry. And it's a great industry. It's done well by my family. And, the heart of it is we protect health, properties, and food supply.
And talk about how you guys do that. I mean, there are regulations, obviously, statewide that tell you what you can and can't spray anymore. But you guys, and you specifically, go to all these seminars, all of these just different, I'm trying to remember the name of the organization, PCO?
It used to be called PCOC, Pest Control Operator of California. Now it's called CATMA, California Pest Management Association, same trade association. And basically, we are a self-regulating industry in a lot of ways with that association. We try to, do things the right way. And we definitely, mindful of we are stewards of our environment. And we don't want spray jockeys out there just, nuking every property that they see. We have goals in mind with every customer. We are trying to control pests and, keep their properties safe. And that's the long and short of it.
Right now during the summer, what's the biggest pest people are going to see in their house?
In the summertime, it's just about all hands on deck. Ants, spiders, roaches. Lately, we've been getting a lot of calls for paper wasps, which is it's kind of fun thing about this industry. Every year, it seems like there's a new pest that seems to be surging forward. And this year, it seems the majority of my calls have been paper wasp. And I'm getting a lot of gopher calls too, which is kind of fun because most most pest control companies in town don't carry the licenses for gophers and burrowing rodents, but we do. And this year, more than others, a lot of gopher calls. But paper wasps, that's been probably the biggest driver.
Really? See, the one I've been seeing a lot this year is snails.
So snails are, they're kind of depends, I guess, on what neighborhood you're in. We get those calls too, but most people are going to, try their own thing. Maybe they'll just remove the bush that the snails are going into, or they'll find something over a Home Depot. And snails are fairly easy to control. We don't really consider them a structural pest. It's more of a lawn and ornamental. We're primarily, and I carry licenses for lawn and ornamental, but we're primarily concerned with, threats to your health and threats to your structure. And on that end, mosquitoes, that's another, big service that we
Huge
offer,
during the
especially
summer.
in the summertime, because that is by and far the biggest, public health threat as far as, things other than humans. Mosquitoes kill more people every year than people kill people.
Absolutely. What do you tell your clients to do to kind of combat mosquitoes? I know obviously dealing with the water around the house is a big one.
So the water is the primary driver. If you give them breeding sites, they're going to breed. Another thing that they can do is, I don't sell fans, but if you get a strong box fan or, some kind of commercial floor fan that creates a wind current. Mosquitoes, the 80s mosquito, everyone calls them ankle biters. They're actually a very weak flyer. So if you can create a wind current when you're out on your patio in the mornings or in the evenings, do that, because, forget the citronella candles. There's no data to suggest that really does anything, but by creating a wind current, you can keep them off you. And go around the lawn, look for children's toys that collect sprinkler water, any kind of objects. If you've got a lot of vases and plants outside, see what's collecting and pooling underneath them. Check your water drain, get a little flashlight in there, maybe sprinkle a little larvicide, wherever you find pooling water.
What do people have to do if they have a pool in the back? Is there something specifically you can do with that?
Well, generally a pool, as long as they're maintaining it and treating it and circulating water,
won't actually attract mosquitoes like that.
Yeah, that's it's a deeper pools of water like that, unless they're, green with algae and a lot of other debris in there, you're not going to get mosquito larvae in there if it's maintained. Now, an unmaintained green pool, it's got a lot of algae in there. If you contact Kern County Vector Control, they're pretty good about jumping on this. They'll come in, maybe drop in some mosquito eater fish that'll go swallow up the larva. And that's, Vector Control, they do a lot of good work for us too.
All right, so that's more of the pool guy and Vector Control than anything. Okay.
Don't let your pool go green.
Okay. That's the long and short of it. Just keep up on your pool. One thing that I can't stand, haven't since I was a kid, and that's one of the only reasons why I didn't want to get into the spray part of it, is roaches. And everybody seems to have to deal with roaches. How can people how can people really deter roaches from getting in their home?
Well, first line I would say is be clean, be tidy, go behind, don't leave food debris, try to take harborage away. So if you need to seal and caulk different little crevices along your tile, do that. And then the next best thing I'd say would call Sequoia Pest Solutions, 661-524-7841.
100%. And you guys handle everything from roaches to spiders, mosquitoes?
Yeah, we are a general pest company and lawn and ornamental. So ants, roaches, spiders. My favorite jobs are German roach infestations and bed bug jobs.
Really?
Yeah, the bed bugs are kind of fun. They get a little spicy. They still give me the heebie-jeebies, but they're, you can really improve somebody's quality of life by getting rid of those. I've had some real terrible cases of a year where children and maybe people who can't advocate for themselves as well, and, who have roaches crawling on them at night or bed bugs crawling on them, God forbid. And you feel real good about yourself when you can help those people out.
Absolutely. And I know not just a couple of years ago, we had a big bed bug problem here in Bakersfield. Is that still a thing? Or
bed bugs are definitely a thing. They've, in the last 50 years, they've come back. We kind of eradicated them to some extent a couple of generations prior to me. I mean, gosh, they used to paste DDT to walls. But, bed bug resistance happens. They're pretty resistant to a lot of different pesticides and insecticides. And they've come back with a vengeance in a lot of cities, and they're pretty good about passing around. They're The adults can go almost a year without feeding, so they can just be lurking in an empty apartment waiting for the next tenant to come through. And unlike fleas, the fleas will feed on you, but bed bugs are very specific to people. They can feed on other animals if there's no people around, but they're looking for you.
How do people really find them? Can you really just look at the side of your bed and see something crawling there?
That generally helps. Pull back your, upend your mattress, look at the box springs. You're going to look for their droppings. You're going to look for signs of them, blood spots. 90% of that population is going to be within 5 feet of wherever you lay your head at night. You'll have, or wherever you like to watch TV. If it's a dark room, which is why I'm always a little nervous about going to movie theaters.
Absolutely. You never know what's in those sometimes. But
I never know, but whenever I go to hotels, I usually check with a flashlight. I become that guy doing this that long. Any seasoned bug guy probably does the same.
That is that's one thing that I've been able to carry over from my time there, because I've worked there from high school until probably the end of college, somewhere in that area. No, right when I went to CSUB, I apologize. But the smell of roaches is still there. I can just the minute I walk in somewhere and I know they have roaches just from the smell of everything.
They have a distinct odor, and if I walk by a refrigerator or some sort of machine that has a compressor at the bottom blowing out air where all they like to aggregate, any seasoned bug guy will know what that smells like. Sometimes you can smell them out from the street walking up to the door.
Yeah,
it gets pretty grimy, and I don't want to give anyone the heebie-jeebies, but if that's something you're dealing with, you probably are going to want a professional help. The do-it-yourself approaches to a German roach infestation or bedbug infestation, you're probably just going to make the problem worse and more expensive in the long run.
Raid doesn't work like that, right? I mean, it's not what you think it is.
There's so many things that will kill an insect in a petri dish in the lab conditions, but in real world conditions where there's temperature variances, there's other sources of food, there's harborages, they can outbreed control.
100%.
So, roaches have been around for over 60 million years. My money's on the roach.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. So if anybody's having pest problems, they need to get in contact with you. How do they do that?
You can shoot us a call or a text, 661-524-7841, or email us at info@Sequoia Pest Solutions, or jump on Google. And if you can't spell Sequoia, which that is the one flaw for me, is when I chose this company name 6 years ago, I chose the one name that it's not the most commonly
you would think people in California would know how to spell Sequoia.
I'm a little bit of a tree hugger deep down. I love our sequoias in the Sierra Nevada, but I didn't take everything into account when I was a little eager to jump out on my own.
Well, you also have the sandwich company to go up against you too. But at that point, just look up Sequoia Pest Solutions. You'll see Sean there. You'll see Richard Hall, his business partner, as well as everybody helping out. Sean, thank you for joining me today. Appreciate you, my cousin.
Chris, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank JR for letting you take the reins.
Thank you, JR. Absolutely. Let's take a break, Daisy. We will talk a little more ESPN layoffs before we get to our final guest of the day, and we'll have some entertainment news with Mr. Rick Bentley of KGET 17. This is the JR show right here on Kern Radio 96.1 and AM 1230. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
Because I think I might finally be growing up a little bit. There's not a lot of things from your childhood that you will see that just snap you back to a better time just instantly and fill your heart with glee. A perfectly restored, 100 points out of 100, restored Honda Trail 90.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Today is Thursday, which means the Stockyard is open. That's right. 2525 F Street, the little speakeasy right next to KC Steakhouse, from the folks that bring you KC Steakhouse. Let's say you're waiting for a table at KC Steakhouse. Guess what? Go right next door to the Stockyard. You can wait for your table while you have a drink in one of the finest speakeasies, not in Bakersfield, not in Kern County, but all of California. That's right. Come on in. There's ropes. There's a carpet. Wouldn't even know it's there. Ring the doorbell. They're going to ask you the password. Tell them why not JR? Then walk through the time portal that is the Speakeasy at 2525 F Street, the Stockyard. Have a drink with Haley. Have a drink with me. I'll be in there this weekend. Plus, they got live music going. They also got a banquet room right next door if you want to host a party, a birthday, a bridal shower, those holiday parties coming up. They will have you covered. It's the Stockyard, 2525 F Street, open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. to close. Don't forget the password, why not JR? It's the Stockyard, Speakeasy.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and like listen. I just want someone to yap to, and I just feel like I'll be fine. Like if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job, and I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it. It's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Are you craving a mouth-watering sandwich just packed with flavor? Then look no further than Caesar's Deli, where they craft some of the best sandwiches in town. Sink your teeth into our signature classic, Caesar's Special, featuring 2 kinds of salami, premium ham, and the irresistible taste of Nona's secret meat sauce. It's a sandwich experience that you won't forget. That's not the only sandwich they offer. No. Satisfy your cravings with a savory smoked turkey sandwich, or indulge yourself with a loaded pastrami, or for the adventurous eater, they offer pickled tongue. And here's the best part. Caesar's Deli has incredible lunch specials that are designed to fill you up without emptying your wallet. Plus, did you know that Caesar's Deli has a full-service deli offering a variety of over 60 meats and cheeses? It's a sandwich lover's paradise, and that's why Caesar's Deli has been a local favorite and proudly serving Bakersfield since 1971. Visit Caesar's Deli today and taste the difference for yourself. Located at the corner of Brimhall and Callaway, behind the beautiful water fountain.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
Oh, welcome back. JR Show right here on Current Radio, 96.1 FM, 1230 AM. We're also streaming video live on YouTube right now. Just look up Current Radio, the JR Show. You'll see us right there as we're live. We have about 30 minutes until we get to the Ralph Bailey Show, but we got one more guest to get to before that. That is Mr. Rick Bentley. He'll be joining me at 2:30. We'll be talking a little Marvel. We'll talk a little Odyssey, as Christopher Nolan has done it again, knocked it out of the park. This movie is incredible. I cannot wait to talk about it with our guy, Rick Bentley. You have a couple minutes, though, or we have a couple minutes, I should say, and I have a couple more things I have to say about these ESPN layoffs to wrap this whole thing up. So I was telling you guys before the end of the first hour, ESPN is heading in this complete different direction due to the purchase of the NFL TV rights and all of that. They took on all of their pundits. And on top of all that, they're making a massive pivot away from certain sports, ergo baseball. Their contract with baseball ends at the end of 2025-26 season, and I don't see one being reached, especially since baseball is so focused on their CBA deal coming up, and God only knows if we're even going to get baseball in 2026-27 if they can't find a deal there. This has led to a massive amount of layoffs, including guys like Ryan Clark, who I explained to you guys earlier. There's a reason why he was going to get let go. He was probably going to get let go from the get-go. You can't have your former athlete pundits try to demean your non-athlete pundits on national television and expect the company to kind of just be okay with it. And when you're getting paid millions upon millions of dollars to give your take on a football game and it's just not resonating with fans, ergo Cam Newton, sometimes they can let you go too. Still heartbroken that Carl Ravage is being let go. But again, that's 33 years of incredible baseball work that he has had with ESPN. He will find a job. This man is that good. It does not matter. He will find a job with some other company as they pick up baseball. maybe once baseball's got their CBA deal done, they'll figure out what streaming service they want to be a part of, because that's really where all of this is headed, especially for baseball. If you're a baseball fan, you know the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby that just happened about a week ago. You couldn't find it on cable television. Literally, it wasn't there. There was no broadcast of it on cable television, and that's on purpose. Baseball is realizing they're not really pulling people in on cable anymore. They can do everything that they do now on these streaming services, Peacock, ESPN, Netflix, whichever one they decide to choose, and make even more money doing that than they were doing with just the ESPN cable contract. So ESPN itself, with Disney, obviously, parent company, firing all these people. Pixar had over 150 people let go. We'll talk to Rick Bentley about that as well, because they just let go of, if I'm not mistaken, 175 employees just 2 years prior to that. So Pixar's been absolutely decimated the last couple of years. But my point being, the route ESPN is going is one of football-centric broadcasts, in my opinion. I think they see where the money is. It is in college football. It is in professional football. And honestly, surprisingly enough, for those of you who don't believe me, it's in WWE. That's why they have the contract with TKO and WWE, because it has its own viewership by itself that just, it rakes in cash. It really, really does. But that being said, everybody who's been absolutely up in arms about these layoffs and just saying that ESPN is going to be terrible and all of these Disney moves are not going to work, I still say we need to pump the brakes. We have plenty of incredible analysts on those shows that are going to take over and just do what they do, and it's going to be fine. The one you're really going to want to worry about is Pixar and all of these Disney movies that are coming out that everybody enjoys. And again, we'll get into that when we get into our entertainment segment here momentarily. But if you think that the quality of movie that Disney can produce is going to be the same as it's been, you're absolutely mistaken. And we will get into that whenever we can. But one person that's been getting a lot of heat for these ESPN layoffs is one Pat McAfee. I want to tie this off as well. Everybody's hatred of this guy is ridiculous. He is currently trying to get a contract of $60 to $65 million for his show, The Pat McAfee Show. What people don't understand, though, because everybody for some reason believes that this is just ESPN paying the former punter of the Indianapolis Colts to do a funny show with his friends on television. That $60 to $65 million is not going to go to Pat. That $60 to $65 million goes to the entire show. All the boys that are a part of it, all the guests that he hosts, that he pays sometimes to come on. I mean, there's a lot that goes into the productions of these shows that Pat himself takes and handles himself. Not to mention, if you're a college football fan, you may know that Pat McAfee himself has given over $3 million in charity work to these college students, I should say, for his field goal kick thing before every game. And it really has gone to these kids. They've gotten this money towards their scholarships, and it's changed a lot of people's lives. So the millions upon millions of dollars that this guy's going to make to do this show, most of it probably won't even go to him. So everybody's hatred of him, everybody getting angry with him. I don't think that your anger is really pointed at the right people here. It really isn't. But again, don't hear it from me. We'll talk to a guy who covers entertainment and all of that. We'll talk about all these layoffs from Disney with our guy Rick Bentley here momentarily after we get back from the break. This is the JR Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. We'll be back momentarily.
I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump appeared to add a condition to the newly signed agreement with Saudi Arabia for a civilian nuclear program, saying the deal would require the kingdom to normalize its relations with Israel through the Abraham Accords. Mr. Trump made the comments Thursday in a social media post. The House has narrowly passed a resolution to halt U.S. military action in Iran, sending a warning to President Trump for the second time as the war has escalated and the future of the conflict is increasingly uncertain. The Senate on Thursday narrowly rejected a similar resolution. Rough day on Wall Street as the Dow was down by 506 points, the NASDAQ dropping 553, the S&P 500 lower by 90. More details at srnnews.com.
Are you carrying more than $10,000 in credit card debt? Do you feel...
Headlines from the KERN Newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. Some info that may be vital for the prosecution in the case of a 12-year-old boy who died after jumping into a pond at a Cal City park back on June 18th to get away from vicious dogs. The Kern County Coroner's report confirms the boy died from drowning and the manner of death was ruled accidental. 68-year-old Kenneth Dobbins is under arrest in that incident. Whoever would steal an AC during the summer, well, Bakersfield police would like to catch them, and that person is described as wearing a black shirt and shorts and was seen on Rosedale Highway, where police say the attempted theft happened June 18th. They are asking for tips. Oil is back up to more than $90 a barrel, and the average price for gas in California is now $5.56, says Gas Buddy. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Kern Radio. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Are you looking for a hospital that truly cares for your health and well-being? At Good Samaritan Hospital, they provide high-quality medical detox, psychiatric services, and medical and surgical care. They accept most insurances, including Medi-Cal, Medicare, and Kern Family. They offer Kern County's longest-standing inpatient detox program with dual diagnosis that combines medical care and withdrawal management all under one roof. Learn more at GoodSamaritanHospital.com or call 661-215-7500. Good Samaritan Hospital. They care for their community.
Maxwell in the morning. Good till the last mic drop.
Judge blocks the Virginia law barring ICE agents from wearing a mask. Can you believe that? Can you believe they have to have a law prohibiting masks? That's the insanity going on. A judge ruled that it's likely unconstitutional. All they had to do was get a message from the DOJ. Excuse me, but that's unconstitutional. Go away. You know, swat them like a fly.
Weekdays 9 to noon, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox program, heard right here on KERN 6 to 9 every morning. You're listening to the JR Show. Join me tomorrow morning, 6 to 9, right here on KERN.
Welcome back. The JR Show right here on Kern Radio 96.1 FM, 1230 AM. I am obviously not JR Flores. I'm Chris Burdick, usual producer of the JR Show, amongst other shows here on Kern Radio. But JR has graciously asked me and given me the reins and said, hey, I need you to host on Thursday. I said, okay, cool. But do I get to call people in? He said, absolutely. So I said, okay, cool. I get to call in everybody I want. Obviously, you've heard from a couple business owners here in Bakersfield. Again, Sequoia Pest Solutions. Go call them if you have any need whatsoever for a pest inside your home. And including Anthony Leary, I know I see your chat there. He did let me know if you have a bee problem, call them. They will get you in contact with whoever can actually help you with this. And Richard Hall from Vital Body Wellness Center over there off of Truxton Avenue. Go check them out. Go get a membership. They could help you and get you into the right healthy mindset. But it's time to talk entertainment. We're going to have some fun with the final 30 minutes of this show. We're going to talk Avengers, as you just heard. The new Avengers trailer is finally dropped. Plus, the Odyssey is out. I know he talked about it with Ralph Bailey last Friday, but I wasn't here, and this movie is incredible. So KGET entertainment reporter Rick Bentley is joining me. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
I love the idea that you combined a pest person and an unwellness and thinking of me.
Well, again.
So there we go.
It was more of like a family thing, Rick. Everybody here is family.
That's true.
That's what it
That's
is.
true.
Literally. I mean, you, Sean, Richie, they're all family to me. Austin Theory, he's family to me. But
I need a loan.
You need a loan?
Yeah,
I'm the wrong family member to come to, Rick. I'm the wrong family member to come to.
Okay.
Let's start with the Avengers trailer, Doomsday, the most highly anticipated movie of this year, in my opinion. We finally get to see at least some of what is going to be coming here from this. What are your thoughts?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone into all of them with trying to be as neutral as I can, but I am excited about this. I mean, I love the idea of bringing together all the characters from the Marvel universes. You know, not necessarily all the major characters. We get a lot of the secondary characters, and I think it's going to work. But again, who knows? I mean, could be one of those situations where it's overkill and it's so much time spent trying to make sure that the Fantastic Four get their time and that the Captain America Return gets his time and Thor get his time, that we sort of spend all our time, everybody getting their time.
Right.
So I don't know until I see it, but I am excited.
It is honestly really surprising to me every time we get a new one of these Avenger movies, how many heroes they can really jam pack at the same time into this film, plus like have the interactions between all of them within maybe 5 to 6 minutes apiece. Because if you really look at how much time most of these characters get on screen,
Right.
it's really not that much in the entire hour and a half, 2-hour film that we're going to get.
Yeah. But again, if it's time well spent, great.
True.
I mean, it all comes down to the direction and the editing and how long it's going to be. I'm assuming this film is going to be closer to the 3-hour mark than the 2-hour mark.
Is the Russo brothers handling this one? Did we know?
They were, then they left.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
And I mean, I'm excited either way, but that does kind of make me worry about kind of how they're going to handle this.
That's the kind of thing. It's when we talk about highly anticipated and everything, yeah, we do want this to be good. I think that's the anticipation.
Right.
How well it turns out, you just never know till you see it. I mean, I would have thought the Grogu.
Mando and Grogu.
Mando and Grogu would have been much better than what we got on screen, but it wasn't.
Right.
But the anticipation was, we're taking a great TV series. It's got to be a great movie, and it wasn't.
Right. Well, and let's take that into account into the topic that I wanted to get into as well, which was all of these layoffs by Disney, especially at Pixar, who let go of over 150 employees after just 2 years ago in 2024, letting go of 175 employees. And they haven't exactly brought those people back and then fired them again. So we're looking at an upwards of, what would you say, almost 300 people now jobless looking for something in the entertainment industry.
Well, first off, you've got Pixar on your resume, so you're not going to be looking a long time.
This is true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and we were sitting here talking about, is this new Avenger movie going to be good? Is it going to be bad? How many good Disney movies really have been coming out in the last year?
Well, we know that Moana was just a terrible, miserable mess, the live action version of that. It's very more miss than hits with Disney. But in the case of the Pixar, I do want to, two things I want to point out here. One, last year Disney got a new boss.
Yes.
And his decision was to try to streamline, because I always have to remind people, it's an entertainment world.
Right.
And if he doesn't make money, all heads are going to roll.
Right.
So that's the first priority. Is not creativity, it's financial.
Right.
So we got to keep that in mind.
And that is stretched over even, like I said, to ESPN and National Geographic and all of these other companies that are parented by
the
Disney.
Theaters, the merchandise. I mean, they have an empire that goes around the globe.
Yes.
The second thing with that is Pixar is sort of a victim of its own success. When Pixar started, it took hundreds of computers, days or months to generate 1 second of the film. As technology has improved, it now takes far less time and people to feed in that information. So technically, because technology's gotten better, they've had less need for people.
Fair.
So part of it is just running out of jobs for them to do. But I will say, it breaks my heart anytime a person loses a job. I know what that's like. But I also say that if you have Disney and Pixar on your resume, there are companies out there who are, they're going to track you down.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's just weird for me to see that a company that makes millions upon billions of dollars in Disney every single year. Now, granted, they're spending a lot of that on these movies they're releasing, especially the Star Wars and Marvel movies and stuff, which take ridiculous amounts of money to make.
Right.
But to pull back on certain companies, because like I said in the last segment, Pixar's movies are going to most likely suffer from something along the line, in my opinion. And they're really the only ones, in my opinion, that have continued to be good almost every time they release something. I still haven't seen the new Toy Story movie, though, full disclosure.
And it's fine. It's fourth best of all the Toy Story movies.
I figured as much. But in terms of losing all of these people, what is that going to do to these movies and to the industry as a whole? Do you have an idea?
We won't know until we see it. I mean, again, I wish I had that crystal ball that could say, well, the loss of these people is going to mean that Expendables 4 will not be as good as it, or whatever.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, and on the opposite side of this coin, let's say this next Avengers Doomsday movie is everything everybody ever wanted it to be, and
Right.
kickstarts the Marvel Universe again, in which we're going to get the X-Men next and all of these other incredible movies potentially that are coming. Does that really drive Disney to bring some of these jobs back, or are we just going to be looking at this kind of layoff for the next couple of years because Disney wants to maximize on their profits?
If there's success, and we're looking, you got to remember with Disney, we're also looking at that Spider-Man world and all that sort of
Right.
thing.
Absolutely.
And so, there's talk now of actually doing a live action Miles Morales movie that after the next
Into the Spider-Verse thing.
right. After that, we probably will go to a live version of Miles.
Mhm.
If you're having success, you're going to need people, and your first people are going to be the ones that have the talent.
Right.
And so, I would think, but it all depends on the public. I think what we need to be worried about is what's going on with theaters and what people are maybe getting turned off about the high price of movies because home theaters are so great.
Right.
Sometimes it's better to stay at home.
Right. And that was going to be my next question is how does this affect the movie industry as a whole? Because, I mean, on the ESPN side of it, there's a lot of heat going towards guys like Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee for their ridiculous contracts as a whole. Again, I'm not sitting here saying $60 million is something that they should just be handing over to a guy like Pat McAfee.
Right.
But when you look at what Pat is paying for everything, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
In the same regard, when it comes to Disney's movies and these Marvel movies, you get, like we said, these extensive Marvel films that, like the Avengers, have, what would you say, 20 pretty prominent actors in it at one time that all have to be paid a significant amount of money.
Sure.
So is that really something that Disney should be tightening up on as well, as we've seen them tightening up on some of these other companies like National Geographic and ESPN?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see the two-part of this new Avengers movie, obviously.
Right.
I don't know after that we will ever see this sort of collection of talent because I think, again, going back, I always go back to the consumer.
Mhm.
And as the consumer stands there and says, you know what, Disney has asked me to pay $15, $16, $17, whatever it is for this latest movie, and I hated it. I wish I hadn't paid that much for it. They're not going to go see the next one.
Right.
And if they're not going to go see the next one, then that's box office is going to drop. And so they're going to cut back on movies. It all starts with the consumer. And I think right now we're at a critical point because I see a lot of the theaters who are really struggling with bad movies that just aren't drawing a crowd. I mean, I'm not going to say which theater I talked to, but before the live action Moana came out, they literally said to me before it opened, we're not expecting anything.
Really?
They knew that was going to be a turkey.
Well, and those were the live action remakes of these Disney movies are always so hit and miss because even if you give them, and I say them as the fans, the exact same movie they saw.
No, but I already saw that movie.
Right, exactly, which you've made that point on Ralph's show, I know. But if you try to change it up like they did with the Lilo and Stitch movie, now you have the diehard fans who are up in arms because you messed with their favorite thing.
Okay, but let's go back to, again, always follow the money.
True.
When Disney goes, look, we're going to make a live action. Wait, we own everything of Moana. We own every image. We own every word. We own every song.
Let's just redo
We don't
it.
have to pay for that.
Right.
Let's just so it may say it cost us but they're paying themselves their own rights for the names and all that sort of stuff. So it's all bookkeeping.
Right.
And so don't ever lose sleep over what's going on with Disney. Those people are way too smart to lose a lot of money. It's never, are they losing money? It's how much profit are they making?
Absolutely.
And if they're not making the degree of profit that they want, that to them is considered a loss.
100%. I can agree with that. Let's transition to the movie that's bringing everybody to the theater right now, which is Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. What are your thoughts?
In August, I will celebrate my 50th anniversary as a journalist. And all that time, I had never given an A+ to a movie. Never. Because my feeling was if I'm saying this is the best ever and something comes along that's better, where do I go? I almost broke that rule with the Odyssey.
Really?
I gave it an A, and it's a solid A. It's a really solid A. I came close to breaking, but I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I'm a grumpy old man. I literally go into every movie saying it's here, it's high, and then I begin chipping away. Oh, it's running time too long. The sound is awful. The performance is, and as it goes down, the grade levels go down. That sort of thing. I could not find anything to chip away at this movie. The performances are wonderful. Matt Damon is just amazing. Anne Hathaway is great. John Leguizamo, who people don't even know is in the movie, is just wonderful. Robert Pattinson, who I've always thought was kind of a stiff of an actor, turns in a great performance. The visuals, and knowing, and this shouldn't affect me, but knowing that, 90% of this is real. I mean, we don't have Cyclopses walking around.
No, but the it was 16 foot. How big was the puppet that they made?
Yeah, things like,
Something like that.
But it's close enough that
Right.
But again, it's one of those, I mean, when you see a scene of 1,000 people running across the field, and know there's 1,000 people running across that field. These are the days of Spartacus.
Right.
These days of, the early, well, not early, but in the 50s when they were all spectaculars, and if you had a battle scene, it was all real people, it wasn't CGI'd. And so knowing that, it's just, and you start with a great story. The Odyssey is one of the great pieces of literature in human history.
Inspired all of Western literature,
and,
really.
And Nolan was smart enough to maintain it.
Yes.
He does he does have a couple of little small secondary stories. And he also sort of, purists could say, well, he shortchanged this part. He didn't, but at the end of the day, he kept it pure as he could.
And I wanted to throw this at you because I thought this was an interesting little twist that I don't think a lot of people are realizing when they watch this film. The first thing you see when this film starts is a rapper by the name of Travis Scott playing the Bard.
Right.
And he is setting the table for the story of Odysseus and his journey to get back home and all of that. And it really goes into, it really ties into rather how the entire movie is really verbalized by the characters. You don't really notice it until you think about it that way, but you have to think about this entire movie really being told by Travis Scott at a dinner for all of these people and he's trying to explain how Odysseus went through this, how he outsmarted the Cyclops and was able to get away, how he got away from the witch that turned all of his men to pigs, which was an incredible scene, by the way. That was all practical effects.
And that, I said this on Ralph's show, is I had to go back to the moment in A Werewolf in London where there was a transformation that I thought was as good as that. It's like, how are they ever going to top this? Well, this was that moment.
Yes.
And I don't even try to explain it. I just say you have to see it. It is just stunning.
It'll make you believe that he used CGI, but there's not a single piece of CGI in this film, to the point where even Tom Holland, after the debut of this movie, turned back to Christopher Nolan and said, "How'd you do the thing with the pigs? Like, how was that even a thing?" And he explained it's all just angles, and it was a clay prosthetic head that they gave her to mold and mess with. And it's just incredibly done.
But I will go back to the rapper opening the movie and everything. This goes back to Greek tragedy.
Yes.
I mean, there was always a chorus. There was always somebody narrating the story.
Right.
And I'm going to segue real quick into a movie that's opening tomorrow in theaters called Hadestown.
Okay.
It's the movie version. Hadestown won 8 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. And so they filmed this. They had the original cast come back together. It was done in London. And so that you're seeing that. And it's based on the stories of Oedipus in the underworld, Greek tragedies, other Greek tragedies. And so it includes Hermes is telling the story in that. And so these are all classic parts of classic Greek literature. There's somebody there explaining, talking to you, because this is the day when all this stuff would have been seen on stage. And so you needed a narrator. And so to incorporate it, and again, one of the things I loved about the Odyssey was we didn't start with the Trojan War, which would seem like the linear thing to do. But no, we get to a point where Odysseus' son is being told about it. And so it's a natural place to find out about the war, but we don't have to say, oh, we're starting with the war, now let's get to this. but it fits in perfectly, and it fits in with that narration of it, and it fits in with Christopher Nolan's ability to tell stories.
Right.
We forget he's visually amazing, a genius, but he's also a great writer.
Where do you kind of fit this in Christopher Nolan's filmography? Where do you kind of put this one? Is it better than Oppenheimer? I mean, personally,
I will say this: I gave Oppenheimer an A-.
Did you? Okay, so this would be better than Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
it's amazing,
but
to
it's
me.
apples and oranges. You know,
True.
his take on Batman
is incredible.
It's just amazing for that. But
yes,
is it fair to compare Batman to? And maybe it is, because in some ways,
oh, you can make comparisons to Odysseus.
Yeah,
and Bruce
Odysseus
Wayne.
was really kind of a superhero in his own
Yes.
right.
Well, if you look at any of his movies, really, it's all the main protagonist of the film is usually this superhuman, stoic figure that is just above traditional man in some way.
Yeah.
And this movie definitely continues that.
And a lot of people talked about this, that the Odyssey is sort of a semi-sequel to Oppenheimer.
I saw
I think
that.
that's stretching a little bit. I mean, there is that whole thing
Was
about
it John Stewart or something brought it up to him or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You know what? I could make any, that's the great thing about writing about this story. So I remember when I was in college, everything was either about death or sex. So you can always find something like that. But again, Oppenheimer was tremendous, but had one nude scene in it that just felt out of place. Like he just jammed it in there, and that just knocked me out of the movie for just a moment.
Really?
So yeah, but I say this is Christopher Nolan's best, but maybe it's the next one. It's the best.
Everybody's saying that this is a traditional, or a spiritual sequel to Oppenheimer. Just makes me laugh. It's like saying that the Flintstones is a sequel to the Jetsons
or the Jurassic Park.
Yes, exactly. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But sir, we have run out of time. Thank you so much for joining me.
It was so much fun.
Always, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And if you do follow us on the Early Bird Special, Rick does pop in from time to time when we talk movies and all that type of stuff. So you can follow us on there. And you can hear Rick Bentley every single Friday at 3:30 on the Ralph Bailey Show. So you'll hear him tomorrow.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Absolutely. Sir, thank you so much.
You're
we got to
welcome.
go to break, Daisy. So we will be right back. We will wrap this show up. And again, thank you guys for listening. And thank you, JR, for allowing me to guest host right here on the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. We'll be right back.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, it looks like more bad news out of the Strait of Hormuz there. It looks like the Houthis are in play now, and that's going to put oil back over $100 a barrel. That's going to be great for everybody. God help you. We got news, we got traffic, we got weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. Right here, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Mary Madeline, owner of Madeline Toyota Lift. For over a decade, Adaptive Networks has been our trusted IT partner. Ryan and his team are responsive, reliable, and always there when we need them. They keep our business running smoothly so we can keep Kern County moving. We count on Adaptive 24/7.
And that's why you need Adaptive Networks. The knowledgeable folks at Adaptive Networks don't just provide simple and stable environments, they also protect your business from cyber threats with advanced security solutions that stop phishing scams, malware, and hackers before they reach you. Their AI-driven threat detection and real-time monitoring ensure that your data stays safe, secure, and always online. So while cyber criminals are working overtime, your business stays one step ahead. Protect your business before it's too late. Call Adaptive Networks today, 241-0638, or visit adaptive-net.com. Better IT means better business.
Let's be honest, money can feel overwhelming. Markets change, life changes, and most people are left wondering, am I actually on track? That's where MoneyWise comes in. We help people simplify the complex, make smart financial decisions, and move forward with confidence, without the jargon, without the pressure. Retirement planning, big life transitions, or just getting organized and knowing where you stand. And now you can find us in a new home, the historic Woolworths building, right in downtown Bakersfield. MoneyWise, clear advice, local roots. Learn more at moneywiseguys.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial. LPL Financial and MoneyWise Wealth Management are independently owned and operated.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey. You're listening to the JR Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Keep it locked. TRBS coming up at 3.
Welcome back. This is the JR Show right here on News Talk 96.1 AM 1230 KERN. Thank you guys for joining us. I am Chris Burdick. I'm your guest host today, traditionally the producer of the JR Show, and I will be back in my usual chair tomorrow. But Daisy has been driving us all day, and I want to say thank you, Daisy. Appreciate you. Yes, Miss Daisy was driving us today. That's what it was. We weren't driving Miss Daisy. No. We do have a couple text messages. We will get to them momentarily. Real quick, though, got to do some housekeeping. These studios are brought to you by Adaptive Networks. I've been meaning to say that all day, and I apologize to Jen and Ryan. I've been terrible. I am terribly sorry. But yes, Adaptive Networks, if you are a business owner and you need any help with your IT whatsoever, you need to give them a call, and they will be the people to help you out. And I want to thank my guests of the day, WWE Superstar Austin Theory, my cousins, obviously, again, full disclosure, but they have great businesses that you guys should go check out. Again, Richard Hall at Vital Body Wellness Center and his lovely girlfriend Bella do great work out there. Sean Clark with Sequoia Pest Solutions. Feel free to reach out to them as well if you have any issues. And Rick Bentley talking a little entertainment with us. But Daisy tells me I have some text messages. What's happening, Daisy?
They were asking if they get rid of squirrels as well.
I
and
believe
skunks.
Squirrels and skunks, I do believe they will be able to handle for you, but give them a call. Sequoia Pest will be able to handle anything that you need, and we'll get your home all squared away and get rid of those roaches too, because I know some of y'all got that. You got to get that handled. That's gross. No one needs to walk into your house roach infested. Is there anything else?
Asking about your show on ESPN.
Oh, well, I apologize. Yes, as I said earlier, I am a co-host or one of two hosts. My good friend Stephen Nicholas, aka the producer of First Look with Scott Cox and the MoneyWise guys. We have a show called the Early Bird Special. You can still find us all over the place: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all that type of good stuff. We are still live. We do Tuesdays, Saturdays now, but yes, we are no longer on the radio waves, unfortunately, as they have made a pivot on 101.1 FM. Now it is known as The Bounce. It's a fantastic hip-hop station. Go check it out. It is great stuff. But we got to get out of here for the day. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you for the texts. Thank you to all of my guests as well. Daisy, thank you for filling in the chair where I usually am. I got to go take that chair because Ralph Bailey's coming up next. Michael Turnipseed, Daniel Petrie, and plenty more. So stick around. This is Kern Radio right here. We'll be back in about 5 minutes after the news.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, K241CI, Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
I'm Keith Peters in Washington.